So many people ask, how do you spend a full day and dedicate a full day to Vistage to achieve that one-day commitment? Well, if you're the type of CEO asking that question, you need Vistage more than anyone. The Vistage Group is here to provide you with insights on how to manage your days better, how to step away from the day-to-day and act as a CEO, as opposed to constantly drowning in the minutia of your day-to-day company operations.
So in my position, time management becomes critical when you don't have that much time throughout the day. Spending an 8+ hour day once a month with the group is really challenging. The way I manage it is I make sure everyone in my organization knows that I'm with Vistage the first Tuesday of each month, and I'm not to be bothered. And I realize that the buildings aren't been burnt down, and just because I'm absent for a day. And so it's a real, and even with the family side, it's a real priority to make sure everyone knows that this is the commitment that I've put forth with the organization, and the value that I get out of it is worth the commitment of time.
One of the things as far as scheduling of time is something that's very critical as far as being a leader within a company. But as far as being a part of Vistage, knowing that the meeting is held once a month, you're able to budget and schedule that time where you're away from work. You know, a set period of time that you're going to be away, that you're able to make sure that your projects are managed the way they need to be managed. Your staff is aware of where you are going to be located in case there's any issues or any concerns that need to be addressed. So there's not an issue as far as scheduling and managing your time, because you are the leader and you're able to set aside that time to be most effective and utilize the services of Vistage to make sure that you can grow in your leadership capacity.
How do you manage the time commitment of the day on the monthly meetings? I just kind of, you kind of get used to it. You plan ahead. You make sure that, you have everything taken care of for that day. In the past, I would always be like, I'm too busy for this or that, because, being a CEO, running a business is not an easy task. But I think in the end, you can definitely make time. You can always make time, especially for the important things for your business and for your career. So I just make sure I have the support staff that works for me to handle, the stuff I do. And I, usually the day before, sometimes it's a little crazy to make sure I get everything off my plate and ready to go.
I've spoken to several potential members over the course of the last 6 months, and the advice I give them as they're considering potentially joining the group is that you've got to dedicate the time. If you're not willing to put in the time, don't join. It's a waste of time in that event. And what I tell them is, in the first 90 days that I joined, I didn't think I would stay, and here I am a year plus later, and I'm really happy to be part of the group. And so that is a direct result of how much time that goes into being part of the Vistage Group. And so if you're considering joining the group but aren't willing to sacrifice that time both on a professional and personal level, don't do it.
Time commitment. So a lot of people who are considering joining Vistage, and even those of us who are already members, are very concerned about the time commitment. So how do you manage to take one day a month away from your company to be with the Vistage Group? I actually think that if you can't find one day a month to be away from your company, then you need Vistage even more, because to create value in your company, you have to be able to step away. You have to be able to let the rest of your company run the place, and so that you can go work on prioritizing what's important and figuring out what you can do about issues, and to also get feedback from other people who may have similar issues. So I think that the time commitment is real, and but it's super valuable, because we're all trying to grow our businesses and make our businesses more and more successful. Otherwise, you wouldn't even be considering Vistage. So taking one day a month away from your company is definitely going to pay back in lots of dividends.